Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Market Wrap. So I am back in Philly, and I even got to bring my puppy Lacey back with me for the week, as Mom's out visiting our oldest Matthew in Colorado. It was a great weekend being home, sleeping in my own bed in Connecticut, and Sunday was almost a perfect day. I had to wait till Monday until my Giants lost to the Chiefs. So 3 watches I love this week, and the first one is going to be a throwback to last week. It's another Daytona, but it was a white gold strap with a sodalite diamond dial. It's a super rare piece. I love the blue dial. I love any Rolex stone dials, and this particular one is really a special piece for me. Now the second piece is a Lange. It's the Saxonia automatic with the very rare blue dial. Again, simplicity, just a beautiful dress watch. I love these classic Langes. Great one to have in the collection. And the last piece is a Laurent Ferrier. Now this is a stainless steel annual calendar, again a blue dial. It's one of the last independents that I think is still a great value. To have a complication in a steel piece is amazing. I love what Laurent Ferrier does. I think it's a little underappreciated, so hopefully someone snatches this one up quickly. So it's officially November, and we're heading into a big auction weekend. We'll have sales this weekend from Phillips, Antiquorum, Christie's, and we'll have the Only Watch auction, which happens every 2 years. We'll also have the GPHG Awards chosen this week, and our own Danny Govberg will be on the jury this year. So next week we'll review the picks and see if we agree with the jury selections. But this week I thought it would be great fun to take a look at some of my favorites that are coming up at the Only Watch auction at Christie's. Now this will be happening Saturday, just about when this video will be releasing, so if you hurry, you'll probably still be able to place a bid. But those of you not familiar with Only Watch, this was started in 2001, and it's a biannual event to raise money for muscular dystrophy. This is the 9th auction, and 53 lots of one-of-a-kind timepieces will go under the gavel. Now historically, crazy results have been achieved, and I expect we will see some extraordinary results this year as well. So I want to highlight a few of my favorites that caught my attention. Now, the first one is an Audemars. It's an AP 15202 XT, one of the last unique 15202s to be made. The reference was discontinued. This particular one is made of titanium and polished BMG, bulk metallic glass on the bezel, has a gray dial with the classic AP logo at 6, paying homage to the A-Series 5402. With the strength of Royal Oaks today, this should be a huge result. Now the second piece is a Bulgari, and I happen to love the Octafonissimos. This particular one is a platinum version, again obviously a one of, in tantalum, with the OW highlighted. So they changed November to NOW to tribute to Only Watch. It's a great piece, it's a great complication, super thin. I love what Bulgari's done over the last few years. I think this will be a great piece for someone to grab. And the third lot, lot 21, is called Kind of Magic, and it's an amazing collaboration between Bethune and Voutilainen. It's a 2-sided piece, and it shows the distinctive look of each watchmaker, and both immediately recognizable as the hand of each master. Now, it's rare to see 2 high-level watchmakers work together like this. I think this is truly an amazing piece. The next piece I want to talk about is an Urwerk. Now, Urwerk has always been a brand that fascinated me. I love the aesthetic. It's always typically just a little too crazy for my taste, but the classic design of the Urwerk Wandering Hour that they did for this piece is amazing. It's kind of classic, even though it's made out of aluminum with a platinum bezel. It's just enough reminds me of classic displays that I just love this watch. Now the last watch we're going to talk about is the Moser, and it brings together many of my favorite Moser things. It's a streamliner, my favorite. It's a cylindrical tourbillon, love that, and a Vanta black dial, incredible. It's great to see all these combinations in one Moser. I think this is something that's going to set a benchmark for a Moser piece. Now the last pieces we're going to talk about are not even wristwatches, but more objects or clocks. I've always had a soft spot for clocks. MB&F brings us the Cuddly Panda. The teeth actually indicate the power reserve. It's an amazing piece. I'd love to see it in person. Leave it to Max to do something crazy for Only Watch. And the last, but certainly not least piece, is a Patek Philippe Desk Clock. Now, for all of these who have been to the museum, you've probably thought you've seen this, and you really did. It's a tribute to the James Ward Packard clock that they made in 1923. It's a perpetual calendar. It's got sterling, vermeil, walnut accents, just an incredibly, truly unique Patek. I think it's going to set a huge number. So we've been talking about watches and clocks that are going to bring extremely high prices for the sake of charity. I thought it'd be a great time to look at one of my favorite sections, what we call MVPs, or Manjos Value Plays. Now, these are some of my favorite pieces on the website that I think are a little overlooked, a little underappreciated, and just represent an amazing value in today's market. The first piece we're going to talk about is a Vacheron Saltarello in a classic round jumping hours. I think this is one of the best values. It is truly a unique complication. Jump hours from Cartier and other vintage manufacturers have gone crazy. This piece, I believe, in 5 to 10 years will really go through the roof. The next piece we're going to talk about is a Patek Philippe, the 5320G. And to me, this is the best modern perpetual Patek has ever made. I love the aesthetic. I think it's an incredibly classic looking watch. When it first came out, it was over retail. You couldn't get it. It retails for over $92,000 today. It will go away in the next few years. The value today in the mid-60s, I think, is incredible when you compare it to other things on the market, and it's just a great looking piece. And my third piece, again, is another Patek. Now, this is a classic 5115J. It's 35 millimeters, double hobnail bezel. But what's really special about this piece is the enamel dial. Now, Patek back in the 50s and 60s made very special enamel dials. They don't do very many modern pieces with them, and usually only in the very high end. And to be able to find a modern Patek Philippe enamel dial for $15,950 is just a crazy good buy. The last piece we're going to talk about today is an AP, the 25682BA, a rectangular Audemars Piguet perpetual calendar, a classic early 80s rare perpetual calendar, and for the low 20s is just a crazy good value. So that was this week's Market Wrap. Look forward to seeing you again next week.